I hate the way Minecraft looks nowadays. Like, what even is this? Why is this in the game? So for the next 100 days, I'll be playing a Minecraft Java mod that makes the game look like Console Legacy Edition, which I'm sure we've all played at some point. Also, I'll be trying to collect every music disc as a little bit of a challenge. So without any more yapping, let's get into it. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I went through a lot of seeds before this one, but this world in specific just called my name.
FeedStunz.
What the Sigma? Hell no, bro.
Free feed pictures in here.
On day one, I spawned in on top of some spruce trees and looked around at what looked like an absolutely garbage seed. But once I climbed up a nearby hill, I found a cozy looking village, and you can bet your left booty cheek I stole from it. I then found some iron armor and looked at a beautiful valley, almost as beautiful as me. I then touched the baby villager and stole more things from the village. I'm a terrible person, man. I then chopped down my first tree and went mining. That was a pretty cool montage, right guys? Right guys? After gathering some iron and nearly getting blown up by a creeper, I decided to head back up to the surface before nighttime to sleep and steal a villager's bed. I woke up on day 2 and harvested some juicy breakfast. I then started looking for a place to build my base and found a beautiful donkey. I then forced it to love me. After getting a new best friend and forcing him in a hole, I placed my bed next to him to mark my territory before exploring and finding a pillager outpost. Now, we needed to come up with a solid plan. Do I rush in, swords blazing, and risk my precious 2 days in this beautiful Minecraft world? Or do I sneak in, grab the loot, and dip? This decision could mark my fate. I decided to take the second option and sneak in. I spotted some backup that the pillagers had locked up and broke him out. He kinda just stood there like bread. I then went to check if any pillagers had spotted me and got shot in the back. I found the guy who shot me and unseamed him from the nave to the chops. After me and my backup destroyed the pillager army, we broke into the tower and ran upstairs to steal their loot. It was mediocre. Might try to collect every armor trim, bro. I don't know. Might freak around and do that. It then started getting dark, so I ran back to my area, but to my surprise, it was covered in mobs. My only other option was to steal another villager's bed, but that didn't really happen. Oh my god, it's the Diddy party! After accidentally walking into the Diddy party, I just decided to craft my own bed and sleep in that. Also, I forgot to mention this, but look how nostalgic the crafting menu is. I know it's day 2 or day 3, but like, oh my god, bro, look at the nostalgic crafting menu. I woke up on day 3 and crafted a shield to protect myself and Mr. Donkey from the mobs in our area. But when I got there was no mobs, apart from 2 passive spiders. But at least Donkey was okay. I realized I didn't have too much iron, so I went back to the caves to gather more, and now I'm 80 blocks deep mining diamonds in a cave full of mobs. But hey, I got my first diamond! I was able to get my diamonds successfully without dying because I'm an absolute Sigma. I'm never gonna say that again. I headed down even deeper to Skulk area. There wasn't really much to collect down there, so I headed back up, but suddenly I was ambushed by baby zombies, a hardcore player's worst nightmare. I then panicked and dug into a wall to try and hide, but it didn't work. Both of them headed my way and almost killed me, bringing me down to 3.5 hearts. That was a close one for sure, bro. But then I see another one running right towards me. Bro, I barely got to heal and he started attacking. Now, at this point, I thought it was over, and he did put me down to half heart before I killed him. After that terrifying experience, I wasn't taking any more chances and headed back into the cave. Attention everybody. It seems like 81.5% of you guys aren't subscribed. What is going on? Hello? Earth to John, Jimmy, Tina. I know you guys are watching. Okay, subscribe, bro. What are you doing? Travis, subscribe for more 100 days videos. All right, back to the video. Also, men are winning. Okay, 90% of my subscribers are men. Only 10% of you guys women. I mean, 10% of you women are not subscribed. What? All right, actually, back to the video though. Some may call my decision to go back into the cave stupid. Me, I call it a smart business tactic because I found more diamonds. On my way back up to the surface though, I found a mineshaft and started looting it before getting attacked by cave spiders, which wouldn't have been a problem, but I didn't have food. So the logical decision would be to head back up to my area to get some food, right? But I'm FeedStunz, I'm not the smartest person in the slightest, hence why I'm a YouTuber. So I kept on mining, which paid off because I found a zombie spawner and acquired my first music disc, Other Side, and of course a name tag for Mr. Donkey. The spawner also gave me some food like bread and rotten flesh, so I survived off that for a while. After exploring some more and getting jumped by some more cave spiders, I ran out of food again, and this time I was walking around with 3.5 hearts. What can I say? Sometimes I like it raw.
What?
I then found some minecart chests and retrieved some glowberries, which I accidentally placed on the ceiling, leaving me with 0 food again. No! Oh, I'm so cooked, bro. At that point, I had enough and headed back up to the surface before getting squashed by gravel and getting put down to 1 heart. And at this point, I was desperate for food, so I decided to eat one of my precious golden apples. How did I survive that, bro? That's crazy. After getting back up, I decimated Peppa Pig's entire bloodline. That one's for you, Ruben. I then found this pig on a singular floating grass block. Oh, what's that meme again? Oh yeah, I see no god up here. Except for me. I then found a village, and honestly, it wasn't robbable enough, so I found my way back home, which was easy because the village was literally on the other side of the hill. When I got back, I placed on my piss bed and officially gave my donkey a name. What do I name this guy? Good enough. I began terraforming my area, but quickly realized that I didn't really plan on building there, but I was too far to stop now. It is now day 5 and I'm still terraforming because there ain't no rest for the wicked, or however that saying goes. Nothing really happened on day 5. I just terraformed, chopped down some trees, and gathered some seeds to make a wheat farm. I also got some amazing deals. Somebody say deals? Whoa, dude, what are you doing in my house? Well, Feed, I found your IP address and tracked it down, which led me here. I found whatever it is you Google. By the way, what is that, bro? It's Sonic Feet Pictures. Bro, what? I was joking about the Google stuff. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? You're weird, bro. Yo, he's weird. He's weird. No, I'm not. I swear, I'm not weird. No, I swear. Look. Here's a quick hypothetical. What if somebody's watching you right now? Through my webcam? Bro, it's closed. What the hell are you talking about? But what if somebody's hacking? Maybe tracking you down? Wait, like right now? What do I do, Mr. FeedStunz 1? You ain't gotta worry about it, FeedStunz 2. Not with NordVPN. They've got state-of-the-art encryption and over 5,000 servers worldwide. They even got a cybersec feature that blocks ads and malware. It's like having a digital fortress. Wait, a fortress? Can I like add like a moat? Maybe a dragon too? No. But you can connect up to 10 devices at once. So your phone, your laptop, your PC, and whatever other weird device you got, bro. You definitely have a few around here. Sure. Oh, like my Google TV downstairs. Sure, man. All safe and secure. Oh, and guess what? This video is brought to you by NordVPN. I mean, how do you think we keep the lights on? Yo, you're supposed to flicker the lights. No, not now. I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, use my link and protect yourself online. Plus, you get to watch your favorite TV shows and movies, let's just say on Netflix. For example, if your favorite TV shows or movies aren't available in your country, get NordVPN, set your location to the correct country, and you can watch your favorite TV shows and movies. Tell me that isn't awesome. Like, you get to protect yourself online too. It's a win-win for everybody. So boys, once again, use my link in the description, top of the description, or on screen right here, probably, maybe, perchance, or here, and protect yourself online. Thank you to NordVPN for collaborating with me in this video. Oh no, phantoms! Stop taxing my health. That's right, phantoms. Man, are they freaky, just like how they penetrate me while I sleep. I grabbed my piss bed and my crotch out of fear that the phantoms might come for me again. Which they didn't, because it is now day 6 and I instantly went mining for a huge amount of cobblestone. This was of course for my starter base. Once I grabbed enough cobble, I went to check on my iron golem friend who's doing just fine. Get him, bro, get him. Yeah. I went exploring just to get a sense of my surroundings and gathered some cherry blossom leaves, because no one can tell you what you can or cannot do in Minecraft. I was then stalked on my way home by a group of pillagers. Not creepy at all. Hey guys. What's going on? I then spent all night gathering more materials for my base and started building it on day 7. Awesome sauce. Continuing building on day 8, I ran out of materials and went mining again for some cobble while listening to this banger. Yeah, I think Silk Touch would help with this, bro. Low key would come in handy. I carried on building my base before looking at an Enderman and underestimating how strong he was. No, run, no, I was lucky enough to run into a villager's house and kill the enderman from there, but it was just my luck that he didn't drop an ender pearl. I ran back to my castle base and built some more, and then took a step back to look at it. Pretty nice, right? Well, that's because it's not my own design. I know, boo me all you want, but I stole it from Pinterest. Shout out to this guy right here, who I think is the original builder. After running out of materials for the exterior again, I decided to work on the interior. Big mistake. The place that I built the floors was wrong, so I had to undo all of it on day 10, which was an absolute shame because I spent like 30 minutes building it, but that's alright. Because we all make mistakes. Stupid game, bro. Why do I have to do this? Like, I literally spent like half an hour doing this. Now I'm gonna start tweaking. After destroying all my progress, I continued to work on my base until day 11, where I decided to change the game up a little bit. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, look at this gameplay and tell me if it looks like console edition. Unless you played it on PS4, the answer would be no. So I finally changed the textures to the OG Minecraft textures, which actually kind of messed up my PC for a few minutes. What the Sigma? But after a few minutes of being locked into a loading screen, it finally worked, and oh my god, is this beautiful. Bro, I actually forgot how good these textures looked. Ooh, sexy. For the rest of day 11 and 12, I continued building my base, but not before almost dying to an enderman again. Come here, boy. Oh my god. Honestly, I think at this point, every enderman is sick of my and I don't blame them, bro. I'd be mad too. Anyway, after that terrifying experience, I went back to building, this time focusing more on the main building in the middle. That didn't last long though, because surprise surprise, I had to go mining again for some materials like coal and iron. While I was mining, I came across a bunch of mobs and nearly died again. You gotta live life on the edge though, bro. After barely making it out alive, I mined my way back up to the surface before midnight. Once I was back, I smelted all my iron like it was my proudest accomplishment. Because it was. Wait. That rhymes sometimes. Oh! Day 13. Lucky for some, but for me, well, I decided to channel my inner homewrecker. I ran over to the village and completely destroyed an innocent villager's home for some materials. But let's be real here. Were they really that innocent? I mean, these guys throw diddy parties, watch your neighbors get zombified, and just stand there like bread. See, I thought endermen were bad, but I think villagers are the real villains in this story. If anything, I'm doing them a favor. Free real estate, bro. After gathering all the materials I needed for building, I decided to give my base a nice glow up. So I got to work on the main tower. Brick by brick, I constructed what could only be described as a rustic masterpiece, or a glorified pile of cobblestone, depending on who you ask. Then came the upstairs decorating. I threw down some snazzy wooden floors because, let's be honest, who doesn't love the sound of creaking planks beneath their Minecraft feet? Day 14 rolled around and I started with a bit of mischief. Deforestation! My favorite. Sorry trees, but your boy FeedStunz has to get in the way. Before you call me out though, let me just say, I replanted them. Okay, Mr. Beast would be proud. Team Trees represent. What the heck? A Discord call from Mr. Beast? Hello? Mr. Beast, you're supposed to be cancelled, no? Bro, what's going on? 50,000 likes? Really? No time to explain. Okay, goodbye, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast just told me, if this video doesn't get 50,000 likes, then he's not posting again. Trust me, he just called me on Discord. 50,000 likes. I only have 7,000 subscribers. Can I get 50,000 likes? Do you want to see Mr. Beast upload again? I mean, probably not. He's an awful person, but... What am I doing with my life, bro? I'm talking to a banana. What is wrong with me?
Elephant green screen effect.
For legal reasons, I have to state that that was a joke. Mr. Beast didn't actually call me, okay? I then went back to the base and made some upgrades to my cobblestone castle. It's coming together pretty nicely, but then the explorer in me started itching. So I packed my imaginary Minecraft pockets with food and set sail on the high seas. The journey was uneventful at first, until I stumbled upon a shipwreck. I dove in and stole the treasure and found some suspicious stew. Matey. Suspicious too. Spoiler, I did actually end up eating it. But as the moon started to rise above the horizon, things started to get a little bit spooky. Before going home though, I tried to cheat my way to another music disc, which went horribly. So I hightailed it back home, going Sonic speed. When I got back home, I tried the suspicious stew and... Yeah, I can see in the dark. Let's go. As the morning sun rose, I decided it was time to go Irish mode. I planted a little cute sugarcane farm because nothing says I'm thriving like rows of tall, green sugarcane plants. My castle may be still a work in progress, but at least I'll have sugar for a cake. Someday. After planting my sugarcane, I decided it was time to tackle the huge castle window. By the time midnight rolled around, I got bored and thought, why not cheat my way to a music disc again? You know, the classic skeleton shoots a creeper trick. And spoiler alert, it didn't go well. Let's just say no creepers were harmed and my ego was shattered. After giving up on the music discs, I was ready to call it a night, but just as I was heading to bed, I made the ultimate rookie mistake. I locked eyes with an Enderman. Big mistake. Huge! Or was it? No, it wasn't. I got an Ender Pearl. Let's go. With day 16 approaching, I looked at another Enderman in his purple eyes. This time though, when I killed him, instead of dropping an Ender Pearl, this dude literally dropped me a flower. I'll be honest, I felt kinda bad. This dude out here trying to spread love in a world full of hate and got killed for it. That's deep. The grind continued on day 16 and 17. I equipped my builder's hat, not literally, still waiting for Mojang to add that, and worked tirelessly on my base. The main tower now has a front fancy enough to impress the Queen of England. Yo, shoddy, text me back though. As for the small towers, I gave them some attention too, adding sides and ceilings because, you know, who wants drafty towers? I decided on day 18 it was time for some diamond drip. I grabbed my pickaxe and dove into the nearest cave, ready to conquer the caves like the Minecraft pro champion I really am. After ending a few mobs who clearly didn't get the memo that I was the John Wick of Minecraft, I found some diamonds. But the real jackpot came when I stumbled upon a ruined portal. Ew, look at that netherrack texture. Ew. I mined the obsidian for my own nether portal and enchanting table and yoinked its one lonely gold block because free gold is free gold. Fueled by ambition, I continued my mining spree, finding even more diamonds. Ow. But tragically destroying my chestplate and leggings in the process. They say drip is forever, but I'm not sure about when it comes to iron armor. By the end of the day, I was sitting at 30 diamonds and 31 levels, feeling like a fresh new man. Yo, we drippy like diamonds. Of course, I couldn't stop there. I ran home, dumped off my loot, and sprinted back to the cave for round 2. I found some diamonds, fought some mobs, but the real highlight was the fact that I found a mine shaft. Go, 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 go. But not just any mine shaft. This one led to an ancient city. Oh my god. Cue the dramatic music. Like the loot goblin I am, I very carefully ran around and pillaged some of the city because I'm scared of the warden beating me up. My haul, armor trims, name tags, and music discs. Sure, I got 2 of the same disc, but hey, my collection now has an upgrade. Woo! But it's not all sunshine and rainbows in the ancient city. No, far from it. Just as I was beginning to leave, feeling like an absolute king, I heard it. And just like that, I escaped, bro. That was insane. By pure panic, I escaped. Was it really worth the enchanted book and name tags? Spoiler alert, no. But you gotta admit, I spotted like 3 wardens and I still managed to survive. That's impressive. Now, I know what you're thinking. Feed, there's no way you went back underground after barely surviving 21 days in this world. Surely you played it safe, acted responsibly, and maybe even enjoyed the sunlight for once? Wrong. Because apparently I have no survival instincts. Instead, I went straight back into the cave like Steve to a diamond. I even looped back to the mineshaft from earlier because why not poke the bear twice? The loot was mediocre, and the sense of safety, non-existent. After some quality time underground, I eventually mined my way back up to the surface. Why? Because as tradition, I ran out of food. Who could have seen this coming? Spoiler, everyone, probably. Wandering around at midnight, I found myself in front of a pillager tower. Now, did I bravely storm the tower like a hero? Absolutely not. I stole their hay bales for bread. You guys ain't getting these back, man. Finally, I made my way back home, where I fell into my bed for the best nap of my life. With Donkey next to me, of course. I woke up on day 23 feeling dangerous. It was time to get serious about building my castle base. First thing on my list, replacing all the grass floors with spruce slabs. snazzy, right? Then I connected the downstairs to the upstairs in each of the 3 smaller towers using simple ladders. Efficiency is key. Things were going smoothly until the 3rd tower. That's when a creeper decided to become a bigger homewrecker than me. No! Oh my god. What the skibbity. Half the tower gone. My life somehow still intact. After patching up the hole, I focused on building the top half of the main tower. I also started setting up an enchanting area because I'm gonna need it real bad if I'm gonna keep playing the way I do. And the cherry on top of day 23, completing my diamond armor drip. I'm looking good, I'm feeling good, and I'm gonna survive for longer, hopefully. For the rest of day 23, I went on a leather hunting spree, taking out horses, cows, and even donkeys. Why do I need all this leather though? Because bookshelves don't make themselves, and my enchantment table was demanding sacrifice. Don't tell Mr. Donkey though, things were cool. Day 24 rolled around and I decided it was time to stretch my legs and explore some more of my gorgeous Minecraft world while looking for some leather. It wasn't long before I stumbled upon a village on the side of a mountain. Right, I think they're living in Far Cry 4. Naturally, my first instinct was to rob them blind. Not that there was much to steal though. These villagers are apparently just completely broke. Oh, and I couldn't leave without paying my respects to the iron golem, by respectfully turning it into extra iron for me. And the highlight of this trip, it wasn't the amazing views or the awesome mountains. It was finding a villager with amazing trades. 2 Bane of Arthropods books at different prices, truly the pinnacle of capitalism. Bro, there's no way these are your trades, bro, you little scammer. So I did what any sensible gamer would do. I stole his books and left him to think about his life choices. Hey, if he's gonna try and rob me, I'm gonna try and rob him. And no one can stop me. I wandered through this cold, depressing village like a sad adventurer in Skyrim. After borrowing everything of value, don't worry villagers, I'll never return it. I resumed my important quest of hunting animals for their leather. Cows, horses, if it mooed or neighed, it was fair game. Come get me, PETA. During my adventure, I stumbled upon the strangest igloo I've ever seen. Inside was a golden apple and a villager awkwardly staring at me. Yeah, sorry, buddy. This is 100 days by myself. Good luck with the igloo though. Night fell, and instead of being sensible and sleeping, I went speedboating. That's right, boat plus ice equals Mario Kart 7 vibes. I found another igloo, this time chilling near a village, pun intended. Excited to find some potential treasure, I ransacked the village, and what did I find? Absolutely nothing of value. Thanks for nothing, guys. I still decided to hang out until day 25 because, well, it felt cozy. But eventually, I hopped back in my boat like the Irish Viking adventurer I pretended to be and stumbled upon a shipwreck. Bamboo! Yeah! Now I can make some bamboo wood or scaffolding. After my epic loot haul, I made my way back home and added more bookshelves to the enchanting setup. Looking pretty good so far. The night of day 25 was dedicated to the art of leather collection. By art, I mean slaughter of anything leathery. Minecraft mobs is nothing personal, it's enchanting. By the time I got home, I had a whopping 35 leather, enough to finally enchant at level 30. After grinding my way to level 30, I finally got to enchant something. What did I enchant? My diamond pickaxe, of course. Why? Because mining stone at snail speed is so last year. Although I was aiming for efficiency and silk touch, to which I didn't get, so naturally I crafted a second diamond pickaxe. Surely this one will be lucky, I thought. And of course it wasn't. No silk touch, no fortune, just pure disappointment. At this point I think the game is coded to personally troll me. Speaking of trolling, I decided to take my fancy new efficiency 4 pickaxe for a spin. I yearned for the mines, collecting cobblestone for my base. Honestly, mining all day without a second screen showing Subway Surfers or some kind of oddly satisfying video is painful. By the end of the day, I was so bored that I just went to bed. After waking up on day 27, I got to work on a very important task, decorating my enchanting room. I framed the bottle of enchanting like it was the Mona Lisa. Feeling accomplished, I decided it was time for an adventure. I decided to go sheep hunting. Halfway across the valley, I finally found some sheep. Wheat in hand, I led those fluffy boys back to my base. Once safely trapped, I ran to the nearest river to grab some ink sacks for black dye. Why? Because I have a very secret project that needs an ungodly amount of black wool. All I'm gonna say is tutorial. And I probably just gave it away right there. After dyeing and breeding the sheep, I promise it's not as weird as it sounds, I switched gears and started working on my castle tower. The grass floor, gone. Replaced it with stunning checkerboard pattern of spruce planks and stripped spruce logs. Honestly, it reminds me of when I first played House Flipper. Great game, by the way. Oh, and with the moon in the background, my castle looks so ominous and demure. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say that. 3 bags full of black wool, not even close. Waiting for wool to grow is more boring than watching paint dry. So I decided to take a break. My brain, fried from TikTok, craved instant gratification. So what did I do? I built a mob farm. Why? I don't know. It was a split-second decision. Sometimes you just have to be unpredictable. After putting the finishing touches on my mob farm, I realized something important. Mobs are probably gonna spawn on the roof. So I carpet bombed the roof with torches like it was World War II. Because, you know, if you're building a mob farm, you kind of want the mobs inside the farm, not throwing a party on the roof.
Go to bed, you'll be alright. Don't mind at night.
Now, while I was building the mob farm and gathering materials like a pro, I had a random thought. What if my sword was like a little bit less pathetic? So I ran back home, threw some levels into the enchanting table, and bam! Sharpness 4 and Unbreaking 3. Not great, but not too shabby, right? Just thought I'd mention that in case anyone noticed my XP bar mysteriously shrink by 2 levels. I didn't die. I'm not that bad at the game. Anyway, once the mob farm was looking all fancy and functional, I remembered something else. Hoppers. Problem was, I had no iron. So off I went, freshly enchanted pickaxe in hand, to finally become a full-time cobble miner. I dug, I smelted, and I crafted the hoppers. Now the mob farm is officially done and ready to farm those sweet drops. Honestly, I really didn't think this type of mob farm would work on Java, but it does, and I love it. After a long AFK session on my mob farm, basically me standing there like a potato, because I am one, I decided it was time to spice things up. So in a moment of pure impulse, just like the mob farm, I built a nether portal, because why would Feed ever plan for things properly, right? I strode in, half expecting to spawn directly on top of a nether fortress, just like some kind of lucky Minecraft 100 Days YouTuber, but no, the game decided to humble me real quick. Welcome to the Basalt Deltas, aka the worst biome in existence. Imagine a landscape designed entirely out of some ugly basalt block with magma cubes trying to bounce on your head like a trampoline. After dodging these bouncing gremlins like my life depended on it, because it literally did, I scrambled my way down to a lower island. At this point, my only strategy was build a million cobblestone bridges and pray. And let me tell you, when you're building sky-high bridges above huge lava pools in the nether, every block feels like it's plotting to betray you. But against all odds, boom, I found a fortress. It felt like winning a lottery ticket, but instead of money, you get anxiety and blazes trying to cook you alive. I charged through the fortress, dodging wither skeletons and fireballs until I stumbled upon my prize, a blaze spawner. It is now day 36 and my patience is as thin as string. After losing heart after heart, I'm talking more heartbreaks than my time in school. At least Hero and Ryan are obsessed with me and Kaylee just being together. Bro, it's not gonna happen, okay? I know, I cry too. I finally scored the magical 12 blaze rods. Oh, and in the moment of ambition or panic, I crafted a brewing stand, because who knows, maybe I'll need it for later. Now, armed with my blaze rods and some watermelon, I ran around the fortress like a headless chicken, hoping to find some chests with some legendary loot. And what did I find? 2 chests with loot that was extremely mid. Like seriously, 1 chest gave me a golden sword. Like, thanks for the toothpick, I guess? Disappointed but undefeated, I sprinted back to my portal and teleported home. Back in the comfort of my cobblestone castle, I proudly crafted an ender chest to stash my precious ores in case Herobrine ever joins my game. I placed my new brewing stand in the upstairs tower, giving my castle some Slay Queen vibes. I'm sorry, that was cringe. Bro, why am I so cringe during this video, man? Oh my god. Then it was time for some sheep romance. Yep, I bred my sheep again because I just looked up a tutorial on how to build the thing I was going to build. And I saw that I need around 18 stacks of wool. I'm going to need a lot more sheep for that. But anyway, did you really think I was done with the nether? Hell no, I wasn't done, pun intended. So back to the nether I went, to mine for netherite. After 20 minutes of intense digging that felt more like a dance-off with lava, I found 5 whole pieces of ancient debris. That's 1 netherite ingot to my name. Yay. So, after narrowly escaping death in the nether, as you do, I returned home to finally expand my single chest. Yes, that one little sad box that I've been holding my life together since day 2. I finally upgraded it to a double chest. Look at me now, boys, with my double chest, living the dream. After basking in my new storage glory, I decided to get to work breeding my sheep, because apparently my little fence box is now a dating site for sheep. I kept at it until the morning and then went on a mission, sheep hunting, but make it sustainable. I sheared every sheep in sight like some Roblox wool tycoon. But then I remembered, pillagers love to keep their wool in their outpost for some reason. So naturally, I paid them a friendly visit and borrowed all their wool. And they were not fans of my interior design theft. Night approached fast, so I decided it was squid slaying time. Yup, I needed ink sacks for black dye because fancy pillager wool doesn't dye itself. A couple of squids, or 10, may have been harmed in the making of this project, but hey, it's worth it for the taste of nostalgia. I then crashed for the night like a champ. I woke up on day 38 with big plans. It was time to finally give my castle tower some love. I started by adding an interior because, let's face it, my castle has been as empty as my motivation to edit this video. I built a staircase, added a second floor, and even started some detail work on the roof. Stairs around the ceiling edges, mwah, chef's kiss. Oh, and a cozy fireplace. It's almost Christmas, so absolutely. On day 40, everything was going smoothly until it wasn't. My screen went black for like 10 minutes. Turns out my OBS decided to self-destruct itself into oblivion mid-recording. I don't know why, but don't worry, I wasn't doing anything shady like off-camera mining, just a bit of interior decorating because I'm classy like that. So after spending an embarrassing amount of time tinkering with OBS, I finally fixed the dreaded black screen issue. With that sorted, it was time to get back to business. Castle interiors, and more importantly, crafting the ultimate flex, a netherite ingot. Now, you'd think crafting a netherite pickaxe would be as simple as craft, click, done, right? At least I thought it was that easy. Well, Minecraft loves to humble me. I completely forgot about the netherite upgrade template, and since I didn't have one lying around, there's only one option. Go back to the nether. I set out on a brave quest to find the Bastion, home of the netherite upgrade template, but what I found instead was absolutely nothing. I ran around the nether for 4 entire days. Let me tell you boys, the nether isn't big on hospitality. No bastions, no friendly neighbors, just me, some piglins, and a lot of regret. But hey, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Along the way, I stumbled upon a nether fortress. Pretty awesome, right? Kind of. Inside, I found a rib armor trim, pretty drippy, and a wither skull, which is great, except for the part where I almost died. I hate zombie piglins so much, bro. By the time I made it out alive, I was done with the nether. Bastion, never found one. Pride left us somewhere between the fortress and lava pit. But hey, at least I didn't die yet. After barely escaping the nether with my life and some questionable loot, I dumped everything into my ender chest. But then I noticed something tragic. My diamond and iron stash was looking empty and just sad. So it was time to hit the mines again. Now, I could have just went strip mining like a reasonable person, but what's the fun in that? Instead, I decided to spice things up by risking my life in an ancient city. Yep, the same ancient city from earlier. You'd think I learned my lesson, but apparently not. The loot, not exactly what I was looking for. 2 diamond hoes, because who doesn't need 2 hoes in their life? Some music discs, sure they're cool because I'm trying to collect them like Pokemon, but let's be real, not what I was hoping for either. A couple of gapples, some diamond leggings, and oh yeah, a whole lot of wardens now patrolling the place. After narrowly avoiding a huge amount of wardens, I decided to check out the mineshaft above the ancient city, because clearly, risking my life once wasn't enough. This time though, I actually managed to loot it without running out of food. Progression, people. But I had to head back up, not because I ran out of food or bravery, but because day 50 was just 3 days away, and I had plans. So I dug my way back up to the surface, sprinted home, and threw all my loot into the chests. With that done, I then geared up for something special I had planned on day 50. So there I was, gathering black wool like a maniac, enough to make every sheep in the kingdom feel bald and insecure. But then it hit me, my sheep pen was just way too small. It was so tiny that the sheep would literally glitch out of the fences. Clearly, it needed a renovation, so I sprinted to the nearest forest to commit an unforgivable crime: deforestation. Don't worry though, I like to think of it as interesting landscaping. After chopping down half the forest, I crafted some extra fences and expanded the pen by a few blocks. Let's just say the sheep now have a big crib, complete with views of a beautiful castle and a glitch-free experience. You're welcome, sheep. As night fell, I realized I still had loads of wood left over, so naturally, I did what Feed would do. I crafted a bunch of chests and barrels and decided to build a storage room. I turned one of my castle towers into an amazing storage space, sorting everything I owned while questioning why I had so many random items. I kept working on the storage setup until day 49, and let me tell you, it's looking chef's kiss perfect. Now my castle has a proper storage room, my sheep are no longer glitching out of their pen, and I can finally sleep at night. Well, in game, at least. I have serious insomnia in real life though. As day 49 approached, I decided to go squid hunting all day. Home say young from the Squid Game. Which is extremely annoying because the squids just become Michael Phelps when you hit them once. Not fun. Now why do I need all that black dye? For a black wall, of course. As night closed in though, I chose to go mining for cobbled smoked into stone for the top secret project and sheared all my sheep again until day 50. The big halfway milestone. First off, let me just say a big thank you for making it this far into the video. It genuinely means the world to me. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Feed must have done something absolutely awesome sauce to celebrate day 50. And yeah, no, you'd be wrong. So wrong, it hurts. Instead of fireworks or fighting the Ender Dragon, I stacked some netherrack. That's right, I ascended to the heavens on Minecraft's ugliest block and finally started working on my super secret project. And if you're sitting there thinking, hey, I know exactly what this project is, prove it, bro. Drop your guess in the comments right now with a timestamp and let's see if you're a Minecraft Legacy OG or just completely overconfident. By the end of day 50, I'd completely burned through my stash of black wool. So naturally, I descended back to earth to shear more sheep. It didn't take long to realize that waiting for sheep to regrow their wool was about as exciting as editing this video. Not so fun, so I decided to be productive while the sheep chomped on that grass. Step 1. Move random junk into my absolutely stunning state-of-the-art storage room. Step 2. Realize how much junk I actually have. Bro, when did I get most of this stuff? What the hell? Step 3. Distract myself by crafting a diamond shovel and enchanting it. With my shiny new enchanted shovel, I returned to the terraforming project I started on day 4 and basically abandoned on day 5. You know, because consistency is my middle name. After some satisfying dirt destruction, I decided it was time to make a bold life decision. I got myself a dog. Why? Because dogs make everything better. Dirt destruction, secret projects, existential crises, you name it. I stumbled across a wolf in a nearby forest by the village, whipped out a single bone, and boom, instant friendship. Honestly, at this point, just call me a dog whisperer. I brought him home on day 52, and I came up with the perfect name. Are you guys ready for this? Lightly waxed cut copper stairs. Yes, that's his actual name, and no, I'm not taking suggestions. Just look at him, bro, sitting on my bed, looking all waxed and cut and copper and stairs. With my trusty dog cheering me on, I jumped back into the terraforming until I figured I had enough wool to finally make progress on the project. And surprise, surprise, I actually had more than enough wool. For once, things were finally going my way. I finished the hard part of the build, and let me tell you, not having to shear another sheep felt amazing. Feeling accomplished, I decided to honor myself with some danger. I headed to a nearby plains biome to try and cheat my way into getting some music discs. The plan? Let skeletons and creepers fight it out while I stood around looking brave. The result? I risked my life all night dodging arrows and explosions and walked away with exactly 1 music disc. 1! Was it worth it? Probably not, but hey, at least I'm committed to the grind. At the crack of dawn on day 53, I dragged my exhausted booty back home. My boots had given up on me mid-battle, so I crafted some new ones and slapped some enchantments on them. Fire protection and depth strider, because I guess I'm preparing for lava pool party. I don't know. To wrap up the day, I returned to terraforming and then slept with my boy, lightly waxed cut copper stairs next to me, while thunder and lightning crashed outside. I woke up and immediately remembered the tragic loss of my shovel during the last terraforming session. Rest in peace, trusty tool. You served me well for like 5 minutes. So I crafted a new one and got back to work, determined to finish the job. And guess what, boys? I actually did it. The area is now beautifully flat. A blank canvas for whatever copied builds future me decides to throw at it. Also, if I do 200 days in this world, I need your ideas. What should I build here? A giant FeedStunz statue? A roller coaster? A second Minecraft tutorial sign? Drop your suggestions in the comments. With the land flattened like a pancake, I turned my attention back to the super secret project. At this point, I was laser focused. I spent all night and all morning grinding away, no breaks and no distractions. And then, on day 55, I finally finished it. The Minecraft Legacy Edition tutorial sign. Predictable, maybe. Nostalgic and absolutely iconic. Yes sir, it's my tribute to the good old days of Minecraft, and honestly, I think it's absolute perfection. After admiring my masterpiece, I lit up the entire area with torches to keep mobs away from me during this staring session. With my masterpiece safe and sound, I shifted gears to work on my storage room again. Organization, who is she? But hey, it's starting to look pretty good. Then I decided to add some sidewalls to my castle until day 56, because let's be real, my castle's been feeling a little empty. Once day 56 started, I thought it would be fun to make some target blocks for some bow and arrow practice. Turns out I had no redstone. Bruh, come on, what? Okay, bruh. Come on, bruh. Not a single dust particle. So naturally, I dropped everything and went on a redstone mining mission. Oh, okay. Oh, hey. While on the mission to find redstone, I figured, I might as well mine everything else I come across because, you know, loot is loot. My journey took a stupid turn though when I bumped into a creeper and a skeleton. Now, you probably already know what I tried to do, but yeah, it didn't really go as planned. After that disaster, I decided to delve deeper into the cave and struck diamonds. 3 of them. But before I could celebrate, the mob party came over without my permission. I ran away like Usain Bolt and made it to the surface. But of course, there was a problem. I was lost, low-key panicking. I wandered aimlessly through the rain until I spotted a familiar pillager outpost. Home sweet castle with tutorial sign home. Day 57 kicked off with me dumping my loot into some chests because organization is for future me. Then I got down to business. Target practice. I set up some target blocks and honestly, it looked pretty fire. I then built a fancy wall with an archway to separate my target practice area from the small courtyard at my castle base entrance. Feeling inspired, I decided to terraform the side of my castle to make the land look a little bit more natural, like the castle just belongs there. And then I stared at my sign. Don't judge me, okay? The sign looks amazing and it took forever. Anyway, with phantoms nagging me like my unpaid taxes, that was a joke, IRS, please don't arrest me, dude. I called it a night. The next day when my target practice area done-ish and my castle wall is half baked, I figured it was time to get serious. Stronghold time, boys. I crafted as many eyes of ender as I could and threw the first one into the sky. The hunt was on and I was ready to go on an adventure. Ow, no, god dang it. Yes, let's go! I finally found the stronghold, boys. Only took me a day and a half of running around in circles and feeling extremely confused on where it could be. But hey, I was here, I was ready to loot it up. The moment I broke in, I spotted a chest. Loot time, boys. I opened it expecting something legendary and got food. Just food. No ender pearls, no diamonds, not even a golden apple. Just bread. Pushing past my disappointment, I started exploring, looking for either an end portal or a library, whichever showed up first. And within minutes, I found the portal room. But because I'm cursed with typical FeedStunz look, the frame had 0 eyes of ender. Yep, not a single one. Fantastic. Amazing. Just what I wanted. Sure. To cope with my emotional damage, I wandered into the library hoping for a redemption arc. And honestly, not bad. Picked up some enchanted books, grabbed some stylish armor trims because even in battle, you gotta look drippy. And looted whatever else I could find. But I wasn't done. No, I wasn't even nearly done. I built a nether portal to see where I'd end up and plot twist. I was actually pretty close to my home portal. Very convenient. Now at this point, a normal person would be satisfied and maybe leave. But me, nah. I looked around the stronghold and thought, this place has a lot of stuff. And I love stuff, so I looted it dry. Everything's mine. Random iron doors, mine. Random... iron bars, guess what? They're mine too. Everything's mine. Dictatorship, mine. Ireland, mine. Your attention is mine. Mic drop. After finally deciding I had squeezed every last ounce of value from this place, I dipped back into the nether and sprinted home, which I actually don't have footage of because of the fact that I had a hotkey on my OBS that I forgot about. I pressed the hotkey while I was typing in the coordinates to the stronghold. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I didn't actually record it, but I did realize right before I recorded the rest of the 100 days, so don't worry about that. Anyway, the moon was up, the stakes were high, and I was on a mission. Ender pearls for the portal and pig set for the ears. Getting my priorities in check, boys. So I geared up with my golden apples, strapped on my most fashionable golden boots, because piglins won't accept you if you don't have drip, and jumped through the portal. Back in the lava-filled danger zone, I set off to find a warped forest, the prime hangout spot for endermen. And after what felt like an eternity, I finally stumbled into one. At this point, it was go time. I locked eyes with every enderman I could find and went on a full-blown pearl farming rampage. But of course, this is me we're talking about, so things immediately got out of hand. Picture this, me swinging my sword like a madman, enderman teleporting everywhere, and my health bar rapidly disappearing. Panic, pure panic. After nearly ending my 60-day run, I decided it was time for a break. So what better way to remove any stress than by raiding a bastion? Because nothing says relaxing like angry piglins with axes and 100 health bars. Now, I'd love to say I found the bastion through sheer skill and exploration, but let's be honest, I googled it. Turns out, avoiding basalt deltas is key. And after taking that advice, I actually found one. Feeling overconfident, I strode right in like I owned the place. Huge mistake. Piglin brute saw me and immediately decided my drip wasn't it. Thinking fast, for once, I dug a 1-block hole, creating temporary piglin proof defense. One by one, they charged at me, only to get completely outplayed. With the first room cleared, I looted the chest and not bad. Golden carrots, netherite, and a netherite upgrade. With my confidence boosted by a golden apple, I bravely and cautiously moved down the bastion stairs. In a beautiful beautiful twist of events though, the piglins were already trapped. That's right, these guys had somehow managed to get themselves stuck in their own home, which meant I could actually just casually eliminate them. Easiest fight of my life. With the second area cleared, I looted the 2 single chests, expecting pig step or maybe ancient debris, but instead I got mediocre loot, like bare minimum. But hey, like I say, loot is loot. Determined to find something actually worthwhile, I moved further down into the bastion and immediately spotted 2 piglin brutes blocking the entrance to the main room. Now, beyond what you might think, I'm no fool. I know what happens when you try and fight these guys on their turf. So, like any person with common sense, I built a few blocks up and prepared to cheese the fight. But I wasn't fully safe yet. If a piglin archer was lurking nearby, this could turn into it. I survived 61 days in Minecraft Hardcore Legacy Edition, and I don't want that. But thankfully, for once in my life, my luck didn't betray me. No archers in sight. With my high ground secured, I rained down arrows and sharpness and took out both piglin brutes. Also, I forgot to mention, but I got a very nice crossbow from one of the piglins, and it comes in pretty handy. With both piglin brutes eliminated, I wasted no time snatching up the 2 gold blocks sitting at the entrance of the main room. But I knew this was probably where things were going to get pretty chaotic. This was Piglin Central, baby! Taking no chances, I perched myself at a safe distance, gripping my newly acquired crossbow and started picking off piglins from different levels. One by one, they fell. I then spotted a chest. Heart pounding, I opened it and found 1 ancient debris. Nice. But before I could even blink, I turned my head and boom, a piglin brute was right there, staring into my eyes, ready to end my existence. My life flashed before my eyes. But luckily, and by some divine intervention, a 2-block high gap separated us. The brute couldn't reach me, and I swear I saw the frustration in his tiny pixelated eyes. I took a deep breath, wiped the imaginary sweat off my forehead, and kept pushing forward. As I descended deeper and deeper into the bastion, the battles got crazier. Piglins coming in from every angle, close calls, health dropping dangerously low, but my quick building skills and crossbow came in clutch. Eventually, I reached the bottom floor. I took a long, dramatic look around. Silence. No more piglins. I was finally in the clear. I looted nearby chests, hoping, praying for pig step. Instead, a snout armor trim and a netherite scrap. Cool, not what I wanted. At this point, I was determined. I moved to the main area, grabbed all the gold blocks, and opened chest number 1. Gold blocks, diamond boots, netherite scrap, upgrade template, but no pig step. Okay, fine. Next chest. Multiple diamonds, a diamond chest plate, another netherite upgrade, pig step. No. I was devastated. The one thing I came for was the one thing I left without. Disappointed, I left the bastion. My spirit shattered. But as I wandered, feeling like a defeated treasure hunter, I spotted something in the ceiling of the nether. A ruined portal. Curious, I climbed up and looted it. The chest had obsidian, which I took just in case I got lost. Because let's be real, knowing me, that was a real possibility. With pigstep heartbreak fueling my every step, I made my way back to the Dwarf Forest, ready to farm even more ender pearls. Because if I couldn't have music, at least I could have progress. After slaying a few more endermen, I finally had enough ender pearls in the Eyes of Ender to fill the end portal. Feeling unstoppable, I set my sights on the nearest nether fortress. Why? Because fighting the ender dragon alone wasn't enough. I wanted to throw hands with the wither too. Gotta keep things spicy. Keep your attention. So I sprinted through the fortress for 26 minutes straight, chopping down wither skeletons. Meanwhile, I was blasting Playboy Cardi, praying for a new album to drop. Rockstar mine. Rockstar mine. But let's be honest, at this rate, I'm gonna have to spend 500 days in this world. Eventually though, I got the 2 wither skulls I needed. I already had one at home. You guys remember? No? Now, after running in circles for what felt like forever, I had no clue where I was. Classic. So instead of retracing my steps like a normal person, I just built a brand new nether portal. You guys see? I told you that ruined portal was gonna come in handy. I stepped through the portal and boom! Spawned in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Just an empty plains biome. Or so I thought. The moment I turned around, there was a village chilling right next to my portal. Talk about convenient. Naturally, I did what any respectable person would do and robbed it blind. After looting everything these poor villagers ever owned, I turned back to my portal and wait, another village? Right on the opposite side? At this point, I had to check if I was in some kind of villager jackpot seed. So obviously, I sprinted over and looted that one too. Then I passed out. Waking up on day 65 feeling fresh and well rested, I knew it was time to find my way home. Surely I wasn't that far away, I thought. Boy, was I wrong. But hey, at least I found yet another village on my way. This time perched on a mountain. I considered robbing it, but honestly, I was homesick. I missed my 122 black sheep crammed in a tiny pen, and of course Mr. Donkey. Every block I traveled, things started looking more and more familiar. And finally, on the evening of day 65, I saw it. Home. Beautiful, glorious, magnificent. Exhausted but satisfied, I crawled into bed, ready for day 66. I rolled out of bed on day 66, stretched, and immediately dumped all my loot into my ender chest and other appropriate chests in the storage room. Then I forged a netherite ingot, because let's be honest, flexing that sweet dark armor just hits different. This script is also low-key kind of helped me with my English exam, so excuse the big words for now. While organizing my storage, my eyes locked onto something I built a few days ago, some target blocks, and at that moment I had only one option. Not gonna lie, boys, I didn't hit a single bullseye. After proving that I am, in fact, a born 2012 phase member, I got back to business. I crafted a fresh diamond chestplate, slapped some netherite on it, and took it to the enchanting table. Thorns 2 and protection 4. Absolutely perfect for a dragon fight, because if I'm gonna take on a pregnant, damage-breathing dragon, I'd rather not get one shot into oblivion. After enchanting my netherite chestplate, I knew it needed a little bit of extra drip. So I went through every armor trim I had, looking for the one that had the most style, and after some deep fashionista consideration, I settled for the eye armor trim with diamond. Looks decent, I guess. But man, if only I had the silence trim. One day. With my chestplate looking slightly cooler, but not as cool as it could be, I turned all my remaining ender pearls into eyes of ender and immediately ran into nether. Why? No clue. I kind of just stood there, looked around, and went back home. Yeah, don't ask. Back home, I decided to slap some Unbreaking 3 onto my chestplate and hit it with a nice Skyrim reference. I named it Dragonborn Chestplate because I am the Dragonborn after all, and I might as well look the part. Then, in a completely logical next step, I went out to collect sand. Why? For glass bottles. Why? For potions. Why? Because it was time to prepare for the long, boring, drawn-out process of getting ready to fight the dragon. But I needed to brew slow-falling potions, and I needed phantom membranes. The only problem? I literally just slept last night, meaning I had to wait 3 whole nights for phantoms just to show up. Now, I could have just AFK'd at my mob farm, you know, the smart, productive choice, but instead, I decided to be productive the FeedStunz way. I spent 3 full days and nights hunting down music discs, because, look bro, I just don't want the intro to be a lie. And just when I thought things were chill, boom, thunderstruck. And out of nowhere, I was fighting 4 skeleton horsemen. Now, I did manage to slay all the skeletons, but I spared 1 skeleton horse because he was just too cool to kill. So I threw a saddle on him and gave him a name. Sans. Yes, Sans, very creative, I know. Then, to celebrate my new spooky boy, I enchanted my crossbow with quick charge 2. They have no relation, I know. Alright, let's check out my music disc haul. Not a lot, but hey, it's a solid collection so far. But that's when I realized something was wrong. I probably shouldn't have put the trial music discs in the intro because this world was actually created before trial chambers were even added. Meaning, no precipice for me. Absolute pain. While waiting for another night to pass, I decided to spruce up my potion brewing room by adding some shelves and slapping some potions on the walls, just to make it look like I actually know what I'm doing. Then I figured I'd do something productive and headed into a familiar cave to try and find more music discs. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well. Turns out, caves aren't exactly popping with creepers and skeletons just handing out discs like a DJ at a party. So I gave up and tried hunting above ground instead. Much better results. Boys, we have officially hit day 69. Nice. And at this point, I made a shocking discovery. I somehow didn't even own a jukebox. Excuse me? How have I been collecting all these music discs without even a way to play them? Obviously, this needed to be fixed immediately. So I crafted a jukebox and gave it its own dedicated room. Because this wasn't just any jukebox. This was the FeedStunz official music studio. After setting down the jukebox, it was finally time to brew some slow falling potions. So I plopped nether wart into the brewing stand and nothing. Turns out, I messed up the potion recipe. Instead of making awkward potions, I made mundane potions, which are completely useless. Like, seriously bro, who actually knows this stuff? Google, that's who. So after consulting with my good friend Google, I double checked my recipe and tried again. Later on day 69, nice, I went out music disc hunting again, and once again came back empty handed. But this time it didn't even matter, because while I was harvesting food back at my base, 2 phantoms dive bombed me out of nowhere. Big mistake for them. I slashed them both down, grabbing their phantom membranes, and finally I could brew my slow falling potions. I tossed in some redstone to make them last longer, and voila, officially prepped for the dragon fight. This was it, the final preparations. I grabbed multiple stacks of dirt, 4 enchanted golden apples, some regular golden apples, my crossbow, some arrows, and of course a ton of food. Then it was time. I stepped into the nether, ran to the stronghold portal, and teleported to the stronghold. I walked up to the end portal, placed all 12 eyes of ender, and took a deep breath, and thought, this is it. Everything I have ever done has led up to this moment. And then I jumped in. I rushed to the middle and started sniping every end crystal like an absolute pro. With all the crystals destroyed, it was time for the main event. The Ender Dragon came swooping down, and after an intense battle of arrows, sword swings, and probably a little panicking, I took her down. I then scooped up all of our XP, grabbed the dragon egg, and immediately headed for the end city gateway. I spent 10 minutes searching for an end city and nearly died to an enderman halfway through. But after a while, I got impatient, and then I cheated. I went into creative mode and got myself an elytra. I'm joking. I just turned up my render distance by a few chunks, and bam, there it was, an end city that I definitely wouldn't have seen otherwise. I built over, slaughtered every shulker in my way, and started looting. First tower, gold, emeralds, and some sweet enchanted diamond boots. Second tower, iron, gold, more god tier enchanted boots, and a diamond sword with Bane of Arthropods. Yeah, thanks Minecraft, I guess. Third tower, diamonds, solid leggings, and an efficiency 4 diamond pickaxe. Top tower, lots of gold, some frostwalker boots, and then shovels and beetroot seeds. What a downgrade, Minecraft. What the blinkety bleep is going on? But now for the main event, the end ship. I slow fell my way down, took out the annoying shulker inside, and let's go! Elytra finally secured. I grabbed everything else on the ship, of course including the dragon head, equipped my brand new elytra, crafted some rockets, and soared back home. First things first, loot organization. I sorted everything into the appropriate chests again, crafted shulker boxes for my valuables and armor trims, and threw them into my ender chest for safekeeping. Then it was time for a test flight. And let me tell you, flying with elytra on Java is so much smoother than on Bedrock. I can't explain it, but it just feels better. While flying around, I stumbled upon a random village with a blacksmith. You already know I looted it dry. Then, feeling tired, I slept there for the night. The next morning, I flew back home and enchanted my diamond helmet with Respiration 3, Protection 3, and Unbreaking 3. Not bad. Then I decided to go on a mission for mending. For my elytra, of course. I flew over to a familiar Far Cry 4 looking village and tried to get a mending trade for 6 minutes straight. Nothing. Got annoyed, flew over to another village, still nothing. Eventually, I just gave up, flew home, and broke my elytra in the process. And with that, I went to bed and slept until day 75. I woke up on day 75 feeling productive. So I crafted a bow and enchanted it with punch 1. I mean power 4, of course. With my god tier bow secured, I got to work moving all the useful blocks from the outside of my castle to the inside of my castle. Because, you know, organization. I moved all my furnaces into the third tower and relocated my white bed and legendary piss bed upstairs into the main tower. Now, the only thing left was a bunch of random chests. And honestly, I couldn't be bothered. But then I had a plan. I rushed to the stronghold to mine a bunch of stone bricks. Why? You'll find out soon. Now, what nobody ever talks about is how unbelievably annoying silverfish are. Like, holy moly, bro. Every other block, bam, silverfish ambush. And somehow with a fully enchanted netherite sword, they still took 2 hits to die. Like, game, excuse me? After about 11 minutes of mining bricks and fighting for my life, I finally headed home and started a brand new project, the castle basement. Now, this wasn't just going to be any kind of basement. This was going to be, let's just say, well, YouTube might demonetize me if I say the actual word, so let's just call it a not very fun basement. A basement filled with certain devices that may or may not cause pain. Sounds friendly, right? Anyway, I mined out the floor and replaced it with a mix of cracked stone bricks, mossy stone bricks, and normal stone bricks for that aged medieval dungeon aesthetic. Then I started outlining a jail cell, but halfway through I decided, nah, sleep first. I woke up remotivated and got back to work on the basement of doom. I placed more stone bricks, then threw down 2 blocks of hay bales in the cell, because, you know, comfort. Gotta keep my prisoners cozy. I also added a cauldron in the corner. Why? Because I'm kind enough to give my prisoners a toilet. You know, you can call me generous. Since one prison cell wasn't enough, I built another one and copied the exact same interior, because if you're gonna have captive prisoners, at least be consistent. Still grinding away on the creepy castle basement, I focused on the walls and ceiling, and as I worked, my brain just got flooded with more and more ideas to make this place even more messed up. So I called it a night and woke up on day 81 with a mission. I crafted chains and lanterns to make this place look even more rustic and eerie. Then, while minding my own business, an enderman decided to pull up on me and almost ruined everything. No, bro, chill. Yo, gotta love it, bro. After that near-death experience, I headed down to the river to grab some flint, because what's a creepy dungeon without candles? I then lit up the candles, placed them inside the cells, and oh yeah, look at this cauldron. I dyed the water yellow so it looks like pee. It's called attention to detail, people. What you know about it? With the cells complete, I started adding detail to the ground, placing stairs to create little chips and cracks in the floor for that extra aged abandoned dungeon look. Then I placed a small table using polished deep slate stairs and slabs, added candles, and threw some shears into an item frame. Why shears? It's a fun device for the prisoners, of course. To really sell the look of yeah, something terrible happened here. I grabbed the skull I found in the ancient city back in like day 40 something and placed it on the table, alongside some redstone to make it look like, well, you can use your imagination. To take things even further, I filled the cauldron with water, dyed it red, and oh yeah, this kind of gives off Minecraft horror map vibes. Then I started working on 2 more cells because apparently this dungeon needed more prisoners. And because any of this wasn't dark enough, I moved my nether portal to the end of the dungeon and placed netherrack around it to make it look like the nether itself was was creeping into the prison. At this point, this place is looking straight out of a horror movie. Also, let's just speed run through the next few days. On day 84, I headed back to the stronghold for more stone bricks. Silverfish PTSD. On day 85, I focused on the ceiling, adding dents, holes, and chains to make it look even more ruined and definitely haunted. On day 86, I created a cool dripping effect in a small hole in the ceiling because details matter. And just like that, on day 87, the dungeon was finished. Look at this place. Absolutely beautiful, but in the most deranged, horrible way possible. Props to me though. Finally, an original design. With the dungeon finally complete, I stepped outside, took a deep breath, and admired my castle again. But then I saw it. That one block of crying obsidian, just sitting there, menacingly. It had been there since I started looking for the stronghold, and I guess my brain just decided to erase it from my memory until now. So naturally, I picked it up and threw it into the dungeon, where it definitely belongs. I mean, look at the block, bro. What the hell is that texture? Oh, and by the way, big announcement. I planned this whole time to fight the Wither on day 90. No, I didn't forget, and no, I definitely won't regret hyping it up. Now, I was feeling pretty productive, so I finally moved the ender chest into my castle, but since I had no silk touch, I had to break it and craft a new one. Then I had a brilliant idea. Why not go on a little adventure with my dog? Lightly wax cook up her stairs. We never go on enough trips together, so off we went, chopping trees, hunting mobs, living our best lives. Then a skeleton appeared. And of course, I wasn't about to let my beloved dog get hurt. So I lunged at the skeleton, and in my blind rage, I accidentally hit Lightly Wax Cook Up her stairs with my sword. He died instantly. My stomach dropped. I stood there in silence. I had just killed my own dog on his first ever adventure with me. I turned to the skeleton, the last thing Lightly Wax Cook Up her stairs ever saw, and absolutely obliterated him. Then I slowly walked back home in shame. Rest in peace, Lightly Wax Cook Up her stairs. You were too good for this world. In memory of my fallen companion, I started building a stable for my other pets, Sans the skeleton horse and Mr. Donkey. By the way, the irony of building a stable to keep my pets safe right after my dog's death. Oh my god, dude. By nightfall, the exterior was done. I started prepping for my biggest battle yet, the Wither fight on day 90. Before we get into the fight though, let's talk about something insane. While crafting supplies, I discovered you can craft enchanted golden apples in this version. Excuse me, what? Legacy 4J, you're out here making dreams come true. Then I went to my mob farm that I've literally only used once in 90 days to look for arrows. I found 3. Woohoo! By the end of the day, I crafted buckets to counter the Wither effect, and after an annoyingly long search for a single cow, I finally had everything I needed. So I headed to the nether and mined out a small hole in the netherite mine for the fight. But halfway there, I realized I had no soul sand. Real cool, FeedStunz. So I ran back up, grabbed 4 soul sand, killed the ghast, and spawned the Wither. The Wither exploded into existence, and I immediately started sniping it. And nobody told me that it regenerates health. Since when? I low-key don't actually remember that happening in Legacy Edition. But no challenge is too hard for me. Unless we're talking about editing this video, which is currently on month 5 of editing. So with a perfect strategy of snipe Wither, run away like a coward, drink milk, eat the golden apple, repeat, I killed the Wither in 3 minutes. In hardcore. I guess I'm probably just too used to the bedrock Wither because that was way too easy. I then collected a nether star, looked for a bastion for about 2 minutes, then gave up and went home. Once home, I put all the blocks in the storage room and went down to the river to gather sand to craft a beacon, and then I fell asleep. I woke up, crafted a beacon, and placed it on top of my main castle tower. Behold, the beacon of FeedStunz. Reminds me of a terrible PS3 base from my PS3 100 days video, which you should definitely watch. I then admired the view. Castle, stables, tutorial world sign, beacon shining proudly in the sky. Perfection. Then I decorated the stables until day 94 because my pets deserve only the best. Except Lightly Wax Cook Up her stairs. He deserved better.
Just call me a monster.
With a heavy heart, I gathered some cobblestone and stone bricks to build a small grave for my fallen comrade, Lightly Waxed Cook Up her stairs. Rest in peace, buddy. Gone, but never forgotten. Then reality hit me. I had completely destroyed my wheat farm to build the stables. Classic me, classic me. So I grabbed 3 buckets of water, made an infinite water source, and got to work. But I wasn't just gonna remake the same boring square farm. Oh no, this one had to be fancy. I outlined the new farm in cobblestone and prepared to build some proper medieval walls around it. Then with the satisfaction of a job half done, I slept. I then woke up and thought, farm time. I added gates, tilled the land, and planted all my seeds like a true Irish farmer. But it still needed that old medieval charm. So I decorated the walls with cobble stairs and slabs to give that this farm has been here for generations vibe. Then I threw in some lanterns and fences for the final touch. But then inspiration struck. I needed a statue to honor Lightly Wax Cook Up her stairs. A mighty monument for a mighty warrior. So I grabbed a ton of diorite and questioned my entire existence while mining it. What's this? Diorite. What's this then? Diorite. Huh. Once I had enough, I headed home and slept, ready to begin construction. Statue time. I started building next to the farm, but then I realized it completely blocked the first castle tower. My bad. So I relocated it next to the grave where it actually made sense. Look at it. Majestic. You know why? Because it's stolen. Yep, just like the castle and the stable. But hey, it's my stolen statue now. Then I slept, dreaming of my totally original and not plagiarized builds. It is now day 97 and I remembered I had a villager trapped in a house somewhere. And today was the day he moved in. I crafted some rails and prepared for absolute pain. If you've ever tried to move villagers in Minecraft, you know exactly what I mean. They resist, they fight, they refuse to cooperate. And after 12 soul-draining minutes of pushing, shoving, and questioning my life choices... Stop! No! Why? Bro, move! Holy crap, why are you going that way? Bro, just hop in. Hop in the minecart, please. I finally got him inside the castle. Now, since he didn't seem too happy about being kidnapped, down in the dungeon he went. I locked him in a cell, felt zero remorse, and went to bed. I then woke up and realized I only had 2 days left. Time to give my new prisoner a proper identity. I grabbed a name tag and without thinking too hard, I named him Billy Bob. No clue why, it just felt right. Oh, and somehow 2 creepers spawned in the cell next to him. I don't know where they came from, but it really added to the "this place is cursed" vibe. Then I went back to work on my castle walls, finishing them once and for all. A fortress needs to be complete before the final day, after all. Then I slept, ready for the grand finale. This was it, the final day. What did I do? First, I beautified my pathway with dark oak fences and torches because even a medieval stronghold needs proper lighting. Then I stocked up on food. You know, just in case you guys want the 200 days in this world, drop a like maybe to see part 2. After that, I took some bone meal and gave the land around my castle a nice overgrown wild look. Finally, I placed a remembrance sign on lightly waxed Cookupper Stairs statue, forever honoring his memory. And then, I did the most cliche thing you could ever do in a 100 days video. I stood at the top of a nerd pole, looked out at everything I built, and watched the sun go down. 100 days. From the very start to this moment, everything led up to this. The castle, the dungeon, the stables, the beacon, and even Billy Bob in his new forever home. But is this really the end, or is there still more to do? I guess that's up to you guys. And by that, I mean, do I suffer through another 100 days and edit? But the sun sets once more over this world. But for us, this journey is coming to an end. 100 days ago, we spawned into this world with nothing. No tools, no armor, just an unlucky seed with no idea of what would be ahead. But we fought through the nights, built our castle, faced creatures beyond our nightmares, and carved out a story that will live on long after this world is closed. We braved the caves, stared into the void of the deep dark, and fought through piglin bastions. And then, there were music discs. A goal that seemed simple at first. A fun challenge to tie everything together. We searched, we fought, we held on to hope, but in the end, we didn't collect them all. And you know what? That's okay, because this journey was never about an end goal. It was about every moment in between, every battle, every close call, every time we stopped just to take in the beauty of this world. You never know what dangers lurk in the shadows, whether it's a creeper hiding in the corner or something far worse, like your personal data being exposed online. That's why I make sure I'm protected with NordVPN. With NordVPN, I can browse safely, knowing my connection is encrypted and secure. Plus, with servers all around the world, I can explore the web freely. So if you want to stay safe online and keep your digital adventures secure, use my link in the description. But in the end, this journey wasn't about the loot we collected, it was about the story we created along the way. And we may not have collected every music disc, but what we do have is something far greater, the adventure itself. And so with one last glance at everything we built, we say goodbye to this world. But the memories, the experiences, those will stay with us forever. And boys, I just want to say a big thank you for watching this whole video. It genuinely means the world. I'll see you guys next time for the next 100 days video, which will be the PS3's earliest version. And also watch this video right here. Goodbye.